Oh, hello, my friends. Today I'm going to be telling you a little bit about my new hobby. Now, before I tell you about my hobby, don't think I've totally gone crazy. I went off the deep end or anything like that. I naturally fell into this hobby by accident. And don't unfollow me or stop watching before I tell you and explain to you like what it is. You're going to be like, what is she, like 80? Is she like a grandma now? She's really lost her mind. No, it is bird watching. So I've had an issue at my home with birds, right? They perch and they poop, and it hasn't been really aesthetically pleasing to constantly have to clean up after them, and it's been just driving me crazy. So I researched it, and I didn't want to buy spikes to keep the birds away. I don't want to scare them. I don't want to buy like fake owls to put out there. So what I did is I bought a bird feeder. And now I have a bunch of really awesome birds outside that give me so much peace and I just get excited every morning to just open the window and hear the birds chirping. Another reason why I started to do this and I continued the process of the bird watching thing and taking care of birds outside, wild birds, is because I have some anxiety. And it's really brought a lot of peace and tranquility to my life. I've only been doing it about a month, but I want to share with you some of the things I did um, and talk a little bit about the birds. Now, this is definitely a requested video to kind of read a little bit, to get your senses to relax, to calm yourself. It is ASMR style, of course, so there will be some tapping, some whispering, some low voices. So that's kind of, the point of this video, and to educate you a little bit on birds and, how to like help with if you have some anxiety, um, just calming yourself. So why did I buy a book that says The Kid's Guide? Because I found this book on Amazon to be the most simple. Like, just give me a picture of a bird and tell me the facts and how to identify it. So I'm going to go over 4 different species of birds today, and hopefully you have these birds in your yard. Now, if you live in an apartment and you want to do something like this, like buy bird seed, there are feeders where you can attach to like your balcony. Obviously, if you don't have a balcony, it's probably not going to work. But that's definitely an option for you. I bought a pole off of Amazon. I bought a bird feeder. Everything cost me like 30 bucks. And it's been so rewarding. One of the species of birds that I have is the brown-headed cowbird. Now, I haven't seen this many places. This is what it looks like. You could differentiate it because it has a brown head, it says, but when I look at it, it looks like a little bit more auburn-ish, like it's kind of like a reddish brown, not like totally brown to me. And these birds are really cool because they go get along with all different birds. They can create a nest with other birds. It's just they're a cool bird, how they say birds of a feather flock together. Well, these birds, they can flock with any bird. And so I really found that bird to be super interesting. They come around all the time and just chill with the other birds. This bird that I'm going to show you is the red-winged blackbird. This bird is strikingly beautiful, super black, and then it turns to the side and you just see red, like a red and yellow kind of stripe going on. And I found it to be so pretty. I I found it unusual for it to be in my area because I don't live like by marshes or anything like that. And it is typically found by water, wetlands, lakes, and I don't have that near me. So I think it probably desperately wanted food and found my yard because I'm telling you, it starts with one bird and then it multiplies and multiplies and multiplies. Um, it's beautiful. My favorite bird to watch is the doves, and I have two different species of doves, right? This is the mourning dove. I read on Reddit that they're not the smartest, like doves are not smart and they're cousins to pigeons. I found them to be definitely goofy. This is the mourning dove, and I thought it was spelled differently. I thought it was like morning because I always see them more in the morning, but it's called mourning dove with an Ourning because it it has this like coo coo, and it's more of like a sad coo. So it sounds like it's morning, right? And it doesn't have any like stripes or anything like that. It's just like solid, right? Some of them have like this type of pattern right here, and that's kind of how you can differentiate. But they usually travel in pairs of twos, right? So turtle doves, two pairs. It's very significant with weddings. Yeah, doves travel in pairs. Now, another bird that I love is the white-winged dove. Oh my gosh. And there's like a lot of spiritual significance when doves come to visit you. I just found they really like the food and they tend to eat off the ground. So each bird has a different place where they eat. So some birds like to eat higher up, some eat off the suets, which suets are like lard with seeds in it and they kind of hang out of like a little cage. Some birds only eat at the bottom, so you can get like a feeder that sits on the bottom. I just put it on the ground, but like if you don't want to attract rats or anything like that, then you can get like a feeder for the ground. Um, Finches tend to like the long ones, long feeders where there's little holes and they have like little perches on them. And then they also have bell feeders, which I found all the birds really like to just sit there and peck at that. I put a mesh bowl out, and that's what I do. These birds eat an entire like mesh bowl in one day. So I haven't filled it up in a couple of days because I'm trying to teach them to eat out of the feeder, and they're finally doing it. They're kind of lazy, right? They want easy access, so they just want to sit and eat and not have to like peck for it. But the white-winged dove is definitely my favorite bird that I've seen so far. It has a beautiful white stripe down here, and a lot of them have black right here too. So, and doves are in so many different parts of the country, and that's why I chose to talk a little bit more about doves today too. And let's see. Yeah, basically, where the birds go is where there's water, where there's food, and where they feel the safest, right? Some birds don't even make a nest. It's so interesting the things I found out. Birds, they'll play with each other, they'll run on the ground back and forth. They'll also dance for each other, they'll feed each other, and these are the coolest things I've learned. Now, my grandmom and my aunt are really into bird watching, and I was like, oh, that's crazy. Like you've like seriously reached another level of like existential boredom, right? But no, I feel really goofy that I was like kind of like, what are you doing, right? I found it to be fascinating. We also have starlings, which starlings are all over the country, right? They're the black birds that have the yellow beak and they fly everywhere. They fly in flocks and flocks. Now, they usually come at dusk, right? I wasn't planning on talking about them, but they're all over the country. So you've probably seen them hanging on like the wires, poles, everywhere, right? They are known as like the smartest birds, and doves aren't. But I really like having the doves around. I think they're so beautiful. They're kind of derpy, they're goofy, they walk on each other, they sit there, they coo all day. And just listening to their cooing, it's been just so like helped my anxiety so much. I love it. So I hope you learned something about birds today. And I really like this book because like it breaks it down because I had no idea what I was doing. It's like, okay, mostly brown. Okay, well, I don't know. Let's look at the red-tailed hawk here. So, yeah, and there's books for everything. Uh, my aunt's really into hummingbirds, and she's been tracking the hummingbird migration. And we have hummingbirds in Texas, but they're not in Texas right now. I think they're going somewhere else for the summer, which is what I would want to do because it gets really hot here. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Definitely let me know what you want to watch next. This was a requested video. I didn't necessarily like read it, but I did talk about it. I felt like that was more interesting than me like going down point by point. But if there is something that you want me to read, feel free to leave me a message or a comment and I will definitely get back to you. All right, so I will talk to you later, guys. I'm going to show you guys my feeder. Let's check it out. So this is the suet. This is the one that has the lard in it and the nuts and the seeds. And the starlings, the black birds, just sit on it and peck at it to get the seeds out. Then they sit on the fence and then they clean their face. Next, we have this perching one where the birds sit here and then they peck at it. Now, most of the time it's the small birds like the finches. This right here is what they all love. They eat about a bowl of it a day. It's kind of wild. They are hungry birds. And so they sit here, they perch, and then they peck into this. They love that. All the birds are super into it. And let me tell you who else is super into it. So it stimulates me, you know, I get excited, it calms me, makes it really tranquil. I just absolutely love it. And who else loves it? Luna, right Luna? And Mackie, Mac. My cats love it. They love sitting outside or at the window, staring at the birds all day. I'm sure they wish they could be outside with the birds. So that's a little bit more about the bird watching and my new hobby.